Good afternoon, all. Myself, Saisha Prabhu, and I'm presenting my building structures portfolio. This semester, we learned more about steel, which included what is structural steel, different structural steel sections, loads acting on structures, steel connections and their types, steel beams, steel columns, steel base, composite flooring system, and rigid frames. Starting with the first topic, that is steel sections. The sections are manufactured in rolling mills and are used as structural members and are known as rolled structural steel sections. These members may be either standard rolled steel section or built up members which are created by connecting number of rolled steel shapes by welding, bolting or riveting. So these different steel members are manufactured in the factories based on their usage. So starting with I section. I sections, which are also called as steel beams or rolled steel joists, are extensively used as beams, lintels, columns, etc. It consists of two flanges which are horizontal and a web connecting which is vertical, which is connecting the two flanges. So at the side are some Indian standards given. Next is the C section. C sections consist of two equal flanges connected to web at both the ends on one side. C sections are extensively used in steel frame structures. And then there are some Indian standards given like ISJC Indian Standard Junior Channel. Then the third one is angle section. Angle sections are manufactured in L shape. It contains two legs. Some angle sections contain legs with similar dimensions which are known as equal angles, and some are with unequal dimensions which are known as unequal sections. So there are Indian standards given which is ISA Indian Standard Angle. The fourth one is T section. T section consists of flange and a web arranged in T shape. It is used in steel roof trusses to form built-up section. Next is bulb angles. The Indian standards given for bulb angles are ISBA, that is Indian Standard Bulb Angles. Next is rolled flat bars. Flat bars are also used for gates, windows, grillwork, etc. And then coming to the rolled steel plates. Steel plates are well used items in steel structures, used for connecting steel beams, tensional member in roof trusses, etc. So this was all about steel sections. Coming to the second topic, that is loads on structure. Structural loads are forces applied to structure components. Loads causes stresses, deformation and displacement in structure. So different types of loads acting on a structure are compiled under two categories, that is gravity or vertical loads and lateral or horizontal loads. Gravity loads are the loads that act vertically downwards due to gravitational effect of earth, and it includes dead load and live load. Lateral or horizontal loads are the loads which are horizontal forces acting on the structure or parallel to the ground, and it includes wind loads, earthquake loads or seismic loads and snow loads. Speaking about the component of steel structure. A structure has different components which are connected to each other and behave as one unit. In this figure, we learn about the load transfer through each component. As we can see in the figure that each component is named as level 1, 2, 3, etc. Level 1 is the sheet or the deck. Level 2 is purlin. Level 3 is beam. Level 4 is girder, level 5 is column, and level 6 is foundation. So the first one is load transfer from level 1 to level 2, that is from the sheet to the purlin. In the figure, we can see the sheet load on each purlin, like how the load is being transferred from the sheet to the purlin. Coming to the next load transfer, that is from level 2 to level 3, from purlin to beam. Here each purlin acts as point load and the load from purlin to beam. So the number of point loads is equal to number of purlins. Coming to the third load transfer, that is from level 3 to level 4. So here now the beam acts as point load on the girders and load from beams to girders as a point L. So the number of point load is equal to number of beams supported by girders. Coming to the fourth stage, that is load transfer from level 4 to 5, that is from girders to column. So from the girders at both the ends, the load is being directly transferred to the column. Coming to the fifth stage, that is load transfer from level 5 to 6, that is from column to the foundation. Here the column transfers the load from the girders plus the self-weight of the column to the foundation. Coming to the sixth stage, that is load transfer from level 6 to foundation soil, that is from foundation to foundation soil. Coming to the third topic, that is connections. Most members in steel structures are built-up members and are made up of plates, angles, roll beams or channels. So the various components of these members are need to be connected by means of fasteners so as to enable them to behave as single composite unit. The types of connections are bolted connection, riveted connection and welded connections. Rivet. A rivet is made of round ductile steel bar piece known as shank and with head at one end. It is made of mild steel or high tensile steel. The riveted connection is obsolete. Analysis and design of riveted connection is the same for the bolted connection. Coming to bolts. A bolt may be defined as a metal pin with a head at one end and a shank threaded at the other end in order to receive a nut. The main difference between riveting and bolting is riveting is a permanent connection since it is tapered at the other end to tighten it, and bolting is a temporary connection since a nut is used to tighten it and whenever we need we can loosen it. So the uses of bolts. Bolts can be used for making end connections in tension and compression members. Bolts can be used to hold down column base in position. Bolts can be used as separator for purlins and beams in foundation. Material is high. Now types of bolted connections. There are simple bolted connections, movement resistant connections or semi-rigid connections. Now classification of bolted connections. One is concentric connections, eccentric connections and movement resisting connections. Coming to the second classification, that is on the basis of type of force. So the connections are classified as shear connections when the load transfer is through the shear. And second one is tension connections. Third one is combined tension shear connections. Coming to the third classification, that is on the basis of force mechanism, that is bearing type connection, friction type connection. Types of bolted joints. There are lap joints, butt joints. Under butt joints there are two types, that is single cover butt and double cover butt. Coming to the third topic, that is welding. Process in which two structural members are joined by means of welds. The connections that is formed is known as welded connection. There are different types of weldings, that is plug weld, slot weld, spot weld, flat weld, etc. Coming to the fifth topic, that is steel beams. Beams are the structural member that support transverse load on them and are subjected to flexure and shear. Types of beam based on the support conditions: cantilevered beam and simply supported beam. Cantilevered beams are supported at one end and free at the other end. Simply supported beams are simply supported at both the ends. Now, types of beams based on the type of section used. First one is roll section, that is in this the material is concentrated in the flanges and are very efficient in resisting uniaxial bending. So it includes I section, C section, rectangular hollow sections and tube sections. Second one is the compound beam. It consists of universal beam strengthened by flange plates. This type of beam can resist bending in vertical as well as horizontal direction. As we can see in the diagram, at the center we have I section and it is strengthened by flange plates. In the second diagram, there is an I section at the center and it is strengthened by additional channel section. Coming to the third part, that is composite beam. It consists of universal beam with roof. So coming to the failures in beam. Failures occurs in beam due to excessive bending, lateral torsional buckling and local failures. Local failures like shear yield of web, crushing of web and buckling of flanges. Beam to beam connections. This is a diagram of beam to beam connection using a framing angle. Next is beam to beam connection using a double angle web clad. As we can see in the diagram, there is a supporting beam, a single cope and a supported beam. This is a beam to beam connection using a double angle web clads. Next is typical beam to beam connection using flexible end plate connections. In this, there is a supporting beam, the end plate and supported beam. Then beam to beam connection using fine plate connections. In this, there are two types. One is beam to beam connection using long fin plate and the other one is using short fin plate with single notched beams. Coming to the sixth topic, that is steel columns. Column is a vertical structural member that carries a structural load along its longitudinal axis and transmits the same to the foundation. A column is a vertical compressive member whose length exceeds 3 times its lateral dimension, strut. If a member carrying axially load is inclined or horizontal with one or both ends pinned or hinged are known as a strut. Pedestal. An axial compression member whose length is less than 3 times its lateral dimension, that is L, length of the column less than 3 times its dimension, is known as a pedestal. A pedestal is usually placed below the column. Buckling of the column. As a result of compressive force, columns undergo deformation or lateral deflection, called as buckling of columns. Next are the diagram of axially loaded column with biaxial bending. Here we can see diagrams of steel sections used for compression members. Next is isometric view of built-up columns. So here a column is built of C sections, that is channel section, using a tie plate and a lacing. In the second diagram we can see the channel sections are placed opposite to each other and a column is being built up using a tie plate and the lacing. These are the diagrams of built up columns. First one is single lace system, second one is double lace system and the third one is double lace system and single lace system combined with cross numbers. So second we can see the flexible connections, that is shear connections. Next is typical rigid connections and the third one is semi-rigid connections. Coming to the seventh topic, that is design of column base. The purpose of column base is to distribute the load of a column on a greater area so that the bearing pressure on concrete on which the steel column stands is not exceeded. Thus, a column base transfers a load to concrete foundation which in turn transfers the load to supporting soil. So, the types of column bases are slab base and gusseted base. So, for small loads, a slab base is being used. A steel plate alone can be used to transmit the load to concrete pedestal, such as a base plate is called slab base. So here is an isometric view of slab base with bolted connection. As we can see, at the top is the flange of column, at the center is the web clad and the flange clad angle at the side. At the sides we have cover plate and then followed by a base plate and down at the bottom is the cement concrete base. Coming to the gusseted base. For columns carrying heavy loads, gusseted base are used. In this type, column is connected to base plate through bearing and partially through gussets. As we can see in the diagram, gussets are connected by butt welds. This gusset plate stiffen the base. So this is an isometric view of gusset base with bolted connection. Traditional steel concrete composite floors consist of rolled or built up structural steel beams and cast in situ concrete floors connected together using shear connectors in such a manner that they work monotonically. So here is a diagram of steel beam bonded to concrete slab with shear connector. Next are the diagrams of composite columns, composite girder, composite slab, T-beam, haunch slab, steel box girder and precast concrete units. Next are the diagrams of composite columns and then is the slab beam and column joint in concrete in composite construction. And then are the connector details which include short fired stud, angle bracket for 2-pin fixing, self drilling and tapping screws, and then there are some shear connectors. Thank you.